भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयम् करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करम् लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करम् शङ्कराचार्यम् केशवम् बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणी निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्।
Hari Om Vidya, thank you. So, Hari Om to all. Happy Ganesh Chaturthi. We are doing Mundakopanishad, and today we are going to start chapter 3, section 1. Mundaka 3, Khanda 1. So, what has happened in the first two chapters is a sadhak has approached a teacher. This sadhak is successful, happy, wealthy, intelligent, and he has come with a very interesting, important question, which is life transforming. That is, what is that by knowing which I will know everything, which he would have heard in some scriptures or through some sessions. So the teacher says that is Paravidya. What is Paravidya? Knowledge of the imperishable. But I also have a lot of knowledge, the sadhak would have said, through which I am successful, happy. I have studied in school, college, marriage, children, successful, becomes big businessman, job. But that is knowledge of the perishable, that is Aparavidya. So Aparavidya will give Abhyudaya, that is happiness and success here, and maybe suppose I want to go to Pitru Lok, Swarga Lok, then Aparavidya I must study. But now this sadhak is more ambitious. He says, no, I want to have permanent, unbroken, continuous happiness. And that will be obtained by Paravidya, that is the knowledge of the imperishable. And after having the knowledge of the imperishable, I will know everything. I will attain everything. I will gain everything. So it is a very intelligent decision or a choice. So what is the knowledge of imperishable? The knowledge of imperishable is listening to and understanding the attributes of the imperishable. So that is a very important point in all Upanishads. Main topic is giving attributes of the imperishable. What are attributes? Not qualities. These are pointers of the imperishable. Why they are pointers? Because some of the attributes are achintyam, agrahyam, alakshanam. In Mundakopanishad it comes. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. In Taittiriya Upanishad it comes. Satchidananda. And in this Upanishad, Avihi, it is self-illuminous. But it would be so far off. No, it is Sannihitam, it is closest, it is nearest. Where can I find it out? Guhacharam, in my own self. Oh, it is on my own self. So it is closest. Yes, it is the closest. Nearest. So how to reach that and attain it? By using spiritual archery. What is spiritual archery? I have to use the bow as home, arrow as my mind on it, the tip there is ego, and the target is Brahman, the imperishable, and with still body, pure mind, concentrated intellect, when that mind or the arrow will go towards that target, what will happen? That is a very interesting part. I must get excited. What will happen? Vidyate Hridaya Granthi, the knot will be dissolved. What kind of knot? The avidya knot. And then what will happen? Now I have to pay attention because this leads to the third chapter. Then what will happen? I will realize my own real nature. Please repeat. I will realize my own real nature. Now, because there are professional speakers, like because when I go outside in corporate training, I charge for my talking. I say that जब तक पैसा देंगे तब तक मेरा वॉइस चलेगा. पैसा खत्म हो गया, आवाज बंद. So there are professional speakers, but there are professional listeners also because कुछ feeling ही नहीं आता है. And that is what Swamiji started with. No feeling. So what will happen? I will realize my own real nature. Oh, so somebody is keenly listening to this sentence will say, oh, that means there are two selves. There are two selves. Yes, there are two selves. I would like to know more about these two selves because I didn't know there were two selves. So that is the beginning of the third chapter where there are two selves are described. So before we go to the three mantras, important point is that we have to chant these three mantras together and we must study together. Why? It is very, very important because we are not studying other darshan shastra, so it is okay. We are only studying Vedanta Shastra. But when we only read first mantra, this is a favorite mantra of Dvait philosophy. They say, see, Mundakopanishad is talking about two selves. There are two selves, but they are not coming to third mantra. Third mantra talks about dissolution. So these three mantras has to be studied together. So before we chant the three mantras, this is one of the very popular, famous part of Upanishadic lore. And these mantras are very well known and this analogy also is very popular. So let's see in 2 minutes the story and the essence of these three mantras and then we will see the symbolic representation. And this story, many, many times Swami Vivekananda used to quote. He used to give little more elaboration on this story because this was one of his favorite portion to discuss. So the story is like this. We are not saying once upon a time. It is all the time. There is a tree. And on that tree, there are two birds living. These two birds are friends. But the interesting part is that these two birds are living in different portions of the tree. One bird is living on the lower branch. One bird is living on the highest branch. The highest branch bird is Sukruta. He is unconditionally loving the lower bird. And the lower bird is a Mitra. He considers the upper bird as a Mitra. So Swamiji discriminated between Mitra and Sukruta. Mitra means conditional love. If I don't talk to you for 2 months, you will not talk to me for 1 year. If I say some nasty thing to you, you will stop talking also. That is conditional love. That if you love me, I will love you. If you give me something, I will give you something. But our upper bird is unconditionally loving. But the lower bird is not paying so much of attention to the higher bird, though they are living on the same tree. Because why? Because the lower bird's attention is on the fruits, the trees, the variety, the world, the animals, the insects which are moving around the tree. And the lower bird, which is a very important point, relishes the fruits because it's a fruit-eating bird. So it eats fruits when it is sweet, and many times it gets bitter fruit, this fruit, rotten fruits, it becomes very sad. And most of the time, after some time, the lower bird finds itself sad only, disappointed, angry, irritated. Then it comes to Mundakopanishad class, and then it starts learning about the upper bird and says, this bird is living on my tree only. And then why am I going to Mundakopanishad class on Sunday so far off? I know this bird. This is living with me only. So now slowly, slowly through the Mundakopanishad class, when the teacher expounds about the upper bird, then this lower birds starts getting interested. Now we have to listen in the upper bird who is sitting on the top. Till that time, the bird is not interested in that particular bird because my interest is in the fruits and world. So now when this bird starts looking at this bird out of frustration, irritation, restlessness, the upper bird he finds always calm, peaceful, joyous. So this bird gets interested in this bird, and that is where the transformation happens. So now slowly, slowly this lower bird starts moving towards the upper bird. And then at one point of time, it finds that there is a golden glow coming. Rukma Varnam, we will see in the third verse or second verse. And then it gets enchanted by the first bird's glow, the light. And then it starts going nearer and nearer. The lower bird, the second bird dissolves in the first bird. And when it starts looking, it doesn't find itself. It finds only one bird, and that is me. Ramdas Swami says in one of his Abhanga, Anantacha anta pahavaya gelo. I went in search of infinity. Tene visaralo apanasi. I forgot myself. So basically, what is Vedanta? I must forget myself. When I forget myself, there is peace. No, how can you say that? What is the proof? The proof is deep sleep. In deep sleep, I forget myself. I forget the world. I forget job, relationship, body, mind, intellect, ideas, knowledge, understanding, ignorance, everything, and there is peace, joy. And when it happens in the waking state, that is the highest state. So this lower bird forgets itself, and from that it sees there was never a lower bird. There were never two birds. That is his new realization, that there were never two. There was only one bird. Ekameva Advitiya Brahma. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Everything is Brahma. Now it starts looking at the trees, the insects, the fruits, everything it sees as Brahma only. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. So this is the story part. So now the story is over. As Swamiji says, we are just listening without any feeling. And I think in my mind going on, I know everything. I got it. And that is what Swamiji started, is that there is a lot of gap between knowing and feeling. How much joy is coming from inside, peace is coming, calmness is coming, that I must ask. So to bridge this gap between knowing and feeling, I know all attributes of Atma Brahman given in all Upanishads. I can chant also, but I don't feel. So to bridge the gap between knowing and feeling, this third chapter is given by the rishis, because it knows that we will only read, chant and by heart and understand, but I'll not feel, because still I feel that I'm a man, woman, human being, and I have to do a job. I'm married, then this family is there and that problem, and now after this dinner, then when tomorrow I have to go to job, and then this job, that job, this job, that job, whole job only. So in this third chapter, this analogy of two birds is taken, and means and sadhanas and practices are given for us to bridge the gap between knowing and feeling. So that is our journey, and there is a journey given of a sadhak also in the third mantra by Adi Shankaracharya. Long commentary in Shankar Bhashya on the third mantra, where entire life journey of a sadhak he gives. So with that introduction and the story part, I would request Vidya to chant first three mantras twice.
Such in your book, is it Dvau Suparna or Dva Suparna?
So Swamiji mentioned that actually it is Dvau and what do you call it? But in our Vedic lore here, when this was given, it was given as Dwa only because it goes with the rhythm.
Because AGS chanted it
Dwa,
as
Suparna,
Dva.
Sayuja, Sakhaya, Samanam. So Dwa is given, but so we can chant Dwa only.
Okay. Because Veji
But
has
actually
chanted it as
speaking, it is
Dva.
a from the Sanskrit point of view, Swamiji mentioned it is Dvau, Suparnau, that way it should
Ah,
come. But now it is, but he told in the Vedic time they wrote this because it goes with the rhythm that way.
okay. So it is Dva only now.
Dwa, yeah.
Okay.
तृतीयं मुण्डकं प्रथमः खण्डः द्वा सुपर्णा सयुजा सखाया समानं वृक्षं परिषस्व जाते तयोरन्यः पिप्पलं स्वादुदत्ति अनश्ननन्योऽभिचाकशीति द्वा सुपर्णा सयुजा सखाया समानं वृक्षं परिषस्व जाते तयोरन्यः पिप्पलं स्वादुदत्ति अनश्ननन्योऽभिचाकशीति समाने वृक्षे पुरुषो निमग्नः अनीशया शोचति मुह्यमानः जुष्टं यदा पश्यत्यन्यमीशम् अस्य महिमानमिति वीतशोकः समाने वृक्षे पुरुषो निमग्नः अनीशया शोचति मुह्यमानः जुष्टं यदा पश्यत्यन्यमीशम् अस्य महिमानमिति वीतशोकः यदा पश्यते रुक्मवर्णं कर्तारमीशं पुरुषं ब्रह्मयोनिम् तदा विद्वान् पुण्यपापे विधूय निरञ्जनः परमं साम्यमुपैति यदा पश्यते रुक्मवर्णं कर्तारमीशं पुरुषं ब्रह्मयोनिम् तदा विद्वान् पुण्यपापे विधूय निरञ्जनः परमं साम्यमुपैति.
Very beautiful, perfect chanting because his first verse, there are certain areas we have to pay attention carefully. Very beautiful chanting, Vidya. Very nice. So, third chapter, analogy of the two birds, and these three mantras come together. Because we discussed that if we look only in isolation, the first mantra, it actually tells about Dvaita philosophy of Ramanuja. There are two selves. That is their main philosophy, and this mantra they quote. But suppose you go further and see in the third mantra, there is a union between the two birds. So, Dva Suparna, two birds bound to each other in close friendship, perch on the self same tree. One of them eats the fruit of the tree with relish, while the other just looks on without eating. That is the literal meaning of this mantra. Now, what is the symbolic representation? Bird one. We can call bird one. Actually, but let it be now. I have written down. Otherwise, we can call the Jivatma as bird 2 and Atma as bird 1. But let us go with this now. So, bird 1 is what? Jivatma, ego, false I, Kshetra, which is identified with the body, the world. What is the nest of the bird 1? The bird 1 nest is Avidya, Kama, Karma, Vasana. Very interesting. It has a nest also. Because where the ego lives in avidya, kama, karma, vasana. So ego doesn't like. Actually, the more we discuss, suppose we think, no, from tomorrow I will meditate on avidya, I will meditate. Immediately there will be 10, 15 obstacles, and one of the obstacle, no, later on, I don't want, this, that. That is because that ego is scared because the moment you start going nearer any nest, because it knows there is a danger there, because that is a protection of that ego made avidya, kama, karma, vasana. So, what the ego is doing, it is keeping us busy from morning to evening, from one birth to another birth, from aneka janma samprapta karma bandha vidayine. And that's the reason people say, no, I'm very busy. For time less, there is no time because that is ego's drama going on because it knows clearly that if I keep this person busy, In these four things, this person will only listen to this Mundakopanishad by heart and then forget and get in business into avidya, kama, karma, vasana. So that is a nest of the ego in which it remains safe. It doesn't allow the knowledge to enter. And that's the reason after this session, not even 5 minutes, some people sit quietly and ponder what has been happened. Because next job is there. Who is creating that next job? Avidya, the ego. Because it doesn't want us to ponder over, because more I ponder, I know it is a threat to my existence. Which existence? The second bird's existence. So where is the nest? The nest in the subtle body, branches of the tree. It is symbolic representation. What is bird 2? It is Antaratma, Paramatma, Ishvara, real I, Kshetrajna, Drashta, Illuminator, whichever word we want to take. So earlier, first word is Karta Bhokta, this is Drashta. So it is giving a method that the more I observe, the more I will go towards first word. The more I think I am Karta Bhokta, Jnata, Shrota, Rota, जो श्रोता होता है वो रोता भी होता है. Then I will be part of the first word. So if we see, all meditation techniques will have at least one step of observation, observing the body, observing the breath, because drashta is the main nature of the bird number 2. Without involvement, without judgment, suppose I am able to observe my body, the world, people, my own senses, my own thoughts, my own feelings, my own breath, my own knowledge, my own ignorance. Slowly, the observer and the observed will be apart. And in that, the observer becomes the observed, J.K. Krishnamurti says, and only observing remains. The famous statement of J.K. Krishnamurti, where there are hundreds and hundred people contemplate, and still not clear what it means. The observer is the observed. The distinction is lost. We will see in the third mantra what he spoke about. Both are friends. B2 knows B1 very well, because B2 is the drashta, illuminator of B1. B2 guides from within. B2's love is unconditional compassion. But B1 doesn't know, because I think God is far off, paroksha. Brahman is far off, but it is with me only, guhacharam. Living on the same tree. So what is the symbolism of tree? Body. Both can be known in the same body. Oh, God also is living in the same body. Yes. So there are two selves, two birds. The ego and God. Both are living in the same body. So tree is taken as a symbol. I can experience both here and now. Aham Atma Guda Kesha. Example, where we are seeing the snake, there only we can see the rope. Not somewhere else I see the snake and somewhere else I see the rope. Where I see the illusion, delusion, there only reality is there. B1, what the B1 is doing continuously? Relishing fruit. What is the fruit symbolism? Karma phala. What is karma phala? Whatever karmas I have done in this life and past life, they are coming in front of me as my relatives, friends, home, situation, objects, resources, etc. And the bird 1 is continuously busy in tasting those karma phala. And continuously busy and thinks that, oh, it is nice, it is nice, it is new experience. No, they are all past experiences coming again. And the bird 1 is continuously busy, and sometimes it finds happiness, most of the time it is disappointed. So, what is the nature of that? Enjoyer, doer, enjoyer, sufferer. Because there is dependency on the karma phala. And what the bird 2 is doing? Okay, some fruits are sweet, some are bitter. The karma phala are not same. B1 goes ups and downs, then watches the bird too in between, and says, oh, this bird is enjoying and not relishing the fruit at all. It is just watching. B2 does not relish fruit because it's constantly watching the B1. Unattached, independent, non-doer. So Guruji says, oh, Brahman is alasi. कुछ करता नहीं, कुछ भोगता नहीं, कुछ बोलता नहीं है, कुछ सुनता नहीं है. Just. So that is one practice. Just watch. Nike Krishnamurti used to say, choiceless awareness. No choice. I must practice this in my day-to-day life. One day I must decide no choice. No choice means no like, dislike. And I will just watch, become aware. The more and more I become aware of the experiences, one day what will happen is that the experiences, the content of experience will dissolve and there will be pure awareness remaining. B1, I love the fruit. B2 says, I know I love the fruit. So I know that knowing part, awareness part is B2. B1 says, I am. B2 says, I know that I am. So there is awareness. And when I say I am, it is the existence part, beingness. When I say I know, it is the knowing part, consciousness part, awareness. Both are the same, but these two are different attributes of the same. So knowing is equal to consciousness is equal to awareness. Nature of both are same. So I must practice this. How to practice? Observe. Become aware. What should I become aware? First, I become aware of my experiences. And my content of experiences, which is basically made up of perception, sensations, name, form, images, sensations. This is my world. Perception, sensation, feeling, thought, name, form. Bas, that's all. This is my world which I get so enamored and entangled into. These are the 6 things. Name, form, perception, sensation, feeling, thought. Right now, please note this. Right now, when you are seeing at the mobile phone or laptop, this is only perception about the sound coming and the light coming. It is not reality. It is only perception. So it is only perception which creates sensation, which creates feelings, which creates thoughts, which creates names and images. This is my life. This is my content of experience and I am aware of it. So B2 is awareness. It is just pure awareness. Parishasva jati. They live together and camouflaged and appear as one due to proximity, avidya. Both birds are living together, but they appear as one, appear as two because of avidya. And when this bird one starts going towards bird two, the avidya dissolves and then they become one because there was always already one only. So now the second mantra says that seated on the self same tree, one of them, that is ego, ahankar, sunk in ignorance and delusion, gets bored with the importance, the disappointment, becomes sad, depressed, and this person reaches the teacher and says, no, I am now seeking happiness which is permanent. And then it is shown in the Upanishad, the second bird, and that second bird is worshipful, adorable, glorious, self-illuminous, infinite bliss. And then looking at it, all the dejection goes, all the sorrow goes. The second bird is free of shoka, bhaya, krodha, moha. So this is a literal meaning. So Adi Shankaracharya on this gives story of B1 in detail. Samane vrukshe purusho nimagna. So this B1 is nimagna, continuously entangled into its life experiences. And in our 21st century, the another word of that is being busy. You are busy doing what? Nothing. The only thing what I'm busy is more and more experiences, different experiences. That's all. So what is the life story of B1? That is our story. First, ignorance. What is ignorance? That I am body, mind, intellect. And then get deluded due to lack of thinking, avivek. Due to that, what happens? It relishes the fruits immersed in the ocean of world and thinks that this fruit is going to give me real happiness. That is my karma phala. Because what is coming in front of me is my karma phala. Why am I born? People ask. I am born because of my karma phala. I have to experience it. If all karma phalas are exhausted, no rebirth will be there. And then grieves. Why grieves? Tires, after working, after marriage, instead of becoming more energetic, more peaceful, more joyous, people say, now I am tired. Physical exhaustion, emotional drain, intellectual confusion. Chapter 1, Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. With what? Situation, objects, people. And then feels helpless, strengthless. Because when I get the fruit, I am very happy. Most of the time, I don't get what I want. Then the anger, suppression, depression, all these things, emotions I go through. And before my all desires are fulfilled, my breath cycle is over. Then I take another birth, then another family, another spouse, another children, mother-in-law, father-in-law, mother, father, relative, job, business continues. Then at one point of time, the jiva says, now it is enough. This bird is enjoying. I want to know this bird. And then gets the knowledge from a Sadguru, comes to Mundakopanishad class. As Swamiji mentioned that all are going to get moksha because you are attending Mundakopanishad class. How? Disidentifying from the changing world, which has lot of variety, which is a cause of sorrow, ups and down. So a person who is coming to Upanishad is matured sadhak, seen the world, experienced the world, sees its ups and downs, sorrows, dukkha, and then identifies with the bird too, infinite, pure, peaceful drashta, which is my real nature. What is the qualification required? Chitta Shuddhi, Chitta Ekagrata, and as Swamiji mentioned, this is a path of good to God. From being good to pure beingness. Why that is important? Because many people think if I do good, be good, then I will get punya. But if I do punya without this knowledge, I will get higher worlds and I will experience and again become neutral and come back to human life. So if I am doing good work also, neki kar darye mein dal. It is also as an instrument of God. I must not keep remembering what all good things I have done because my objective is Chitta Shuddhi. So yada pashyati, as I was talking earlier in the story, rukma varnam. So when the seer realizes the self-effulgent supreme being, as it starts coming the closer, when vairagya has happened, now I am not interested in the scenery, I am interested in the seer. And slowly the lower bird goes towards the upper bird and realizes that this upper bird is so glorious, so self-illuminous. Supreme being, ruler, maker, source, God, generator, operator, destroyer. And then all the papa and punya both dissolve. Why it is important? Because if I do papa, I have to come back again to experience the karma phala of the papa. If I do punya, if I don't have this knowledge, then again I have to come back and take birth to receive that punya phala. So when I am doing good, my attention must be on Chitta Shuddhi. And then I become stainless. Stainless means pure. Pure means Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara goes away. and attains that supreme equipoise. So there is oneness between the lower bird and the upper bird. So B1 realizes that I am B2 itself. Aham Brahmasmi, self-illuminous, imperishable. And by becoming imperishable, I become the ruler, maker, and source of everything. Then I say, oh, I am the creator of this world. Not that I earlier, what was my impression before coming to Vedanta class? That I am one small, garib, bechara person living in this particular place. What can I do important? You saw here. I can't do much. With a shok, I am just, completely depressed. And now I am saying that I am the creator of this universe. Because where the universe is located? In my thought. And that's the reason Brahmaji creates this universe from his thought, imagination. And how is it possible? As we all create everything, our own world in the dream. Our dream world is entire thoughts only. Oneness is there. There may be water, there may be UK, America, Germany. Then I go to Mundakopanishad class, and I go somewhere else. Everything will appear in that dream in one shot, in 2 minutes. Result goes beyond avidya, kama, karma, papa, punya, bandhana. So what I was holding on as my nest, the nest gets destroyed. And then the bird one comes in face to face with bird two. And before it dissolves, it experiences the bliss, ecstasy of that. Because the bliss, ecstasy is experienced when there is duality in the thought. So the Brahman or the Atma can only shine maximum in the buddhi and maximum in that I amness. And when it comes face to face, that is a last thought. What is the last thought? Which is the first thought? I am. And then when that I amness goes, then I say Aham Brahmasmi. But I remains, but that is another I, which says that I am all. Earlier I used to say I am this body, mind, intellect. Now it says I am all. And then with that realization, sorrow and fear dissolve forever. So Vedanta is such a supreme knowledge. It doesn't solve problem, it dissolves. Not only problems, it dissolves the world, dissolves the doer, dissolves this, separate self or isolated self, which is a cause of misery, and attains untouched supreme state of peaceful equipoise. The two birds become one. Jushtam yada, it becomes one. So this is one of the classics, of Advait philosophy. Swamiji also took an analogy or metaphor of Gurudev's BMI chart and explained. Two birds and BMI chart. I think we all know BMI chart. Om is the bird 2. BMI is the tree. PFT is bird 1, that is Jiva, Jiva Bhava. OET is the fruit, Pippalam. And we, due to ignorance, the bird 1 is interested in all the fruits and the world and the body. And when that ignorance is dissolved, the bird 1 comes in contact with the bird 2 and it dissolves. So this entire philosophy we can see in the BMI chart. So wonderful mantra. I would request Vidya, she chanted so beautifully, to chant these 3 mantra once again and let's close. If anyone has any questions, we can discuss. But these are very, very famous, popular mantras of the Upanishads, which are taken into consideration in many, many discourses. And Adi Shankaracharya has given very beautiful commentary on all 3. Very beautiful analogy to understand. 2 selves. Yeah, Vidya.
द्वा सुपर्णा सयुजा सखाया समानं वृक्षं परिषस्व जाते तयोरन्यः पिप्पलं स्वादुदत्ति अनश्नन्योऽभिचाकशीति समाने वृक्षे पुरुषो निमग्नः अनीशया शोचति मुह्यमानः जुष्टं यदा पश्यत्यन्यमीशम् अस्य महिमानमिति वीतशोकः यदा पश्यते रुक्मवर्णं कर्तारमीशं पुरुषं ब्रह्मयोनिम् तदा विद्वान् पुण्यपापे विधूय निरञ्जनः परमं साम्यमुपैति।
Very nice. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Is that completed?
Yes,
Achha.
you can stop and then we
Huh?
can. Now you can stop the recording and we can have question answers if there are.